Good morning, friends. It's Saturday, the 1st of March, 2025, and it's time for your news from dinarrecaps.com. Iraqi-Swiss agreement to prevent double taxation and enhance economic cooperation. The Ministry of Finance announced today, Thursday, the signing of an agreement with Switzerland aimed at preventing double taxation and evasion of income and capital taxes in order to enhance economic cooperation between the two countries. The ministry stated in a statement that Iraq and the Swiss Confederation initialed the agreement on Wednesday, February 26th, where the Iraqi side in the negotiations was headed by Mohammed Hamza Mustafa, Director General of the Legal Department and Acting Director General of the General Tax Authority, with the participation of a number of officials, financial and legal experts, and a representative of the Iraqi Fund for External Development. The ministry stressed that the agreement aims to create an attractive investment environment by reducing the tax burdens on Swiss companies and investors, which contributes to strengthening trade and economic relations between the two countries. It also indicated that the Swiss Confederation is one of the advanced countries in the field of tax collection, and cooperation with it would attract Swiss capital, which represents one of the most important investments in the Middle East region to support the development process in Iraq. And this ends this report. Here is our next report from dinarrecaps.com. The Ministry of Oil announced today that the coming hours will witness the re-export of Kurdistan region oil through the State Oil Marketing Company, SOMO, with an initial rate of 185,000 barrels set to gradually increase. Deputy Prime Minister for Energy Affairs and Minister of Oil, Eng Hayyan Abdulghani al-Sawad, is currently visiting Khor al-Zubair port to oversee gas pipeline connection operations. In a separate development, Mazhar Mohammed Salih, financial advisor to the Prime Minister, reported that Iraq is on a steady path towards a significant digital transformation, highlighting advancements in both technological and legal infrastructures to support this initiative. Additionally, Iraqi officials have reached an agreement to supply Lebanon with 2 million tons of crude oil in exchange for immediate cash payments, differing from previous contracts. Lebanon's outstanding debt of $2 billion for past fuel shipments has yet to be resolved, with only $118 million paid. Lastly, the Central Bank of Iraq has signed a banking agreement with Emirates Islamic Bank to enhance cooperation and expand payment services, marking a significant improvement in banking relations. And this ends this report. Here's our next report from dinarrecaps.com. Note, all intel should be considered as rumors until we receive official announcements, and rates and dates could change anytime until we get to the bank's redemption centers. RV excerpts from the Restored Republic via GCR. Update as of Friday, 28 February 2025, compiled by Judy Byington. On Thursday, 27th of February 2025, Edward Griffin commented on the Federal Reserve, stating that it should be abolished rather than audited, as it operates as intended, which he deems a significant historical scam. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick confirmed on Fox News that the IRS is being dissolved under Trump's administration, replaced by tariffs on foreign nations. This follow-up audit revealed plans to close 120 IRS offices and fire thousands of employees. Reports indicate that on February 25, 2025, the IRS faced major changes, including the unexpected retirement of acting head Doug O'Donnell amid massive slashes to IRS personnel. Central banks are reportedly panicking, shifting reserves into gold as inflation rises and geopolitical tensions escalate. Egypt is moving towards joining BRICS, issuing $500 million in yuan-denominated bonds, signaling a departure from the US dollar, along with other nations like Turkey and Saudi Arabia. Bruce mentioned on February 27, 2025, that strong sources indicated that notifications for appointments may come this week. This follows Trump signing off on Gassara and Nasara with an anticipated address regarding these topics on March 4th. In Iraq, reports from boots on the ground indicate that oil exports are expected to begin flowing earlier than anticipated, likely next week, amidst expectations of a new exchange rate. Important meetings involving the CBI and private banks focused on monetary reform and Iraq's international status are scheduled. And this ends this report. Here is our next report from dinarrecaps.com. Get ready to pay for Paris Hilton's new house? Podcast. In a recent commentary, James Hickman discusses the historical context of Los Angeles, drawing parallels between its past glory and current challenges. The city, once the heart of the film industry, has faced significant decline due to various political and regulatory issues, leading to a mass exodus of talent and businesses. Hickman reflects on California's dependency on federal bailouts and questions the sustainability of its policies, highlighting the potential financial ramifications for residents, including celebrities like Paris Hilton. He urges listeners to recognize the broader implications of leadership failures and prepares for a deeper exploration of these issues in the upcoming podcast. Tune in for more insights. And this ends this report. Here is our next report from dinarrecaps.com. When is the BRICS Summit in 2025? Brazil will chair the BRICS Summit in 2025 under the helm of President Luiz Lula da Silva. The alliance will reinforce its commitment to reshape the global order and usher their economy into a new financial territory. Apart from discussing financial issues, the bloc will also make decisions on climate change and global governance. The BRICS alliance will collectively collaborate on policymaking at the 2025 summit and represent the population of developing nations. This year's summit is important as the 9-member bloc will decide on concrete steps to strengthen their economies. The move could reshape the geopolitical landscape and challenge the Western-dominated global financial order. When and where is the next BRICS Summit in 2025? The next BRICS Summit in 2025 is scheduled to take place in Brazil's Rio de Janeiro from July 6th to 7th. The 17th summit will discuss de-dollarization, strengthening of local currencies, new trade deals, and also rewrite policies favoring developing nations. In addition, the alliance might also consensually decide about inducting new countries into the bloc. Several leaders have hinted that the 17th BRICS Summit in 2025 could begin discussions about alternative payment options to the US dollar. Brazil and India have confirmed that they do not support the formation of a BRICS currency. They are looking at various methods to settle cross-border transactions in local currencies. This is being discussed in BRICS 2025 Summit at the initiative of Brazilian President Luiz Lula da Silva. The previous summit stated a decision on the necessity of developing a proposal on alternative payment platforms through finance ministries and central banks. Such proposals have been made, they suggest, in particular, the creation of a so-called trans-border payment initiative, the creation of a reinsurance company, and the BRICS clear settlement and depository infrastructure, said Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. XRP News today. Closed-door meeting fuels speculation over Ripple lawsuit dismissal. Ripple versus SEC's closed-door meeting sparks speculation about lawsuit being dismissed soon. Political pressure increases as Senator Lummis challenges SEC's crypto regulatory approach. Ripple's XRP dropped by 8%, but lawsuit dismissal could push price toward $320. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, held a closed-door meeting on February 27, 2025, sparking speculation about the future of the Ripple lawsuit. With the SEC recently dropping cases against major crypto firms like Coinbase, Uniswap, and Robinhood, many wonder if Ripple could be next. Could the SEC end the Ripple case? The SEC sued Ripple in December 2020, saying the company sold XRP as an unregistered security. However, Judge Analisa Torres ruled in 2023 that XRP itself is not a security, weakening the SEC's case. Now, with increasing pressure on the SEC, people believe the agency might be ready to move on. At the recent SEC meeting, officials discussed legal matters and settlements. While the details are secret, many think the Ripple case may have been included. Former SEC lawyer Mark Fagel does not believe this is a sign of progress, but pro-XRP lawyer Bill Morgan is confident that Ripple has the upper hand. Political pressure may shake the market. Senator Cynthia Lummis recently criticized the SEC's approach to crypto regulation, stating that most digital assets are not securities under the Howey test. Meanwhile, this aligns with Judge Torres's ruling in the Ripple case, further strengthening Ripple's position. No official decision has been announced yet, but the next key date is April 16th, when Ripple must submit its reply to the SEC's appeal. If the SEC withdraws before then, it could mark the end of the long-running case, paving the way for a brighter future for XRP. What next for XRP? As of now, XRP's price is trading around $2.03, reflecting a drop of 8.19% with a market cap hitting $142 billion. However, many crypto experts believe that if the SEC drops the case, XRP could rise sharply. Some even predict a jump toward $3.20. Meanwhile, there is also talk if Ripple lawsuits get dismissed, it will open the door for the approval of an XRP exchange-traded fund ETF, which could push XRP's price even higher. And this ends this report. Here is our next report from dinarrecaps.com. Coffee with Mark Z and Mr. Cottrell took place on February 28, 2025. Highlights included a discussion on potential payouts for historic bondholders this month with expectations of currency movement over the weekend. Mark Z mentioned that contacts at wealth management redemption centers would be working throughout the weekend and also touched on recent discussions regarding Iraq's oil exports in the Kurdistan region, which are set to resume. He speculated on the release of the Epstein list, possibly coinciding with RV developments. The call also featured insights about historic gold audits at Fort Knox and how these might relate to future financial systems. Participants expressed their hope for an RV release amidst ongoing frustrations. Mr. Cottrell joined the stream, and it was emphasized that the content is for educational purposes only, not professional advice. And this ends this report. Here is our next report from dinarrecaps.com. Homes aren't getting more expensive, and gold just proved it. Taylor Kenny, 2/27/2025, we're all feeling the squeeze. Whether it's at the grocery store, the gas pump, or even just contemplating the dream of home ownership, the rising cost of everything is a palpable reality. While inflation is the word on everyone's lips, understanding the why behind this economic phenomenon is crucial to protecting your financial future. And a key piece of the puzzle lies in the history of the US dollar and its relationship with gold. For decades, wages and housing prices largely moved in tandem, reflecting a relatively stable economic environment. However, a significant shift occurred in 1971 when the US government completely severed the dollar's link to gold. This pivotal decision unleashed forces that continue to impact our financial lives today. Prior to 1971, the dollar's value was directly tied to gold, meaning a certain amount of dollars could be exchanged for a fixed quantity of gold. This provided a natural constraint on the money supply. With the gold standard abandoned, the Federal Reserve gained the ability to print money virtually without limit. Without the gold standard to tether it, the dollar's value became increasingly susceptible to inflation. Printing more money effectively dilutes the existing currency, driving up prices for goods and services. The detachment of the dollar from gold was a watershed moment in modern economic history. While the full ramifications are still unfolding, understanding the link between monetary policy, inflation, and your purchasing power is paramount. By taking proactive steps to protect your wealth through diversification, strategic investments, and a proactive approach to financial planning, you can navigate the challenges of dollar devaluation and build a more secure financial future. Remember, knowledge is power, and informed decisions are your best defense against the silent thief of inflation. Watch the video below from ITM Trading with Taylor Kenny for further insights and information. And this ends this report. Here is our next report from dinarrecaps.com. Oil Minister Abdul Ghani al-Sawad announced that Iraq is set to start oil export operations from the Kurdistan region within hours, with an initial rate of 185,000 barrels through the state oil marketing company SOMO via the Turkish port of Ceyhan. Additionally, the Iraq Al-Mustaqbal Foundation for Economic Studies and Consultations provided an analysis of the fluctuations in the exchange rate of the Iraqi dinar against the US dollar over the past 21 years, emphasizing the impact of internal and external factors on these changes. The report highlighted patterns in the value of the dinar and stressed the importance of monitoring various economic factors. Furthermore, commentary from economic figures like Frank 26 and Militiaman reflected optimism regarding Iraq's banking stability and readiness for advancements. Lastly, insights from Andrew Maguire and economist Daniel Lacalle discussed global shifts in financial landscapes and the increasing demand for gold as a reserve asset. And this ends this report. Here is our next report from dinarrecaps.com. SEC Commissioner Caroline Crenshaw dissented on the agency's recent opinion that meme coins are not securities, arguing that the definition provided was vague and could lead to misunderstanding. In her statement on February 27th, Commissioner Crenshaw suggested that meme coins could meet the Howey test criteria due to the coordinated efforts of developers and promoters. She also expressed concern that many cryptocurrencies might be classified as meme coins following the SEC's new guidance, which categorizes meme coins as speculative and not securities. Following high-profile scams and a controversial launch of a presidential meme coin by former President Donald Trump, lawmakers are pushing for stricter regulation. California Congressmember Sam Liccardo revealed that House Democrats are preparing a bill to ban presidential meme coins titled the Modern Emoluments and Malfeasance Enforcement Act. This legislation would prevent U.S. lawmakers and their families from sponsoring or endorsing any digital asset. Former CFTC Chief Attorney Elizabeth Davis stated that she believes meme coins should fall under CFTC regulation, foreseeing comprehensive regulations emerging in the coming year. In other news, Arizona has passed 2 Bitcoin reserve bills aiming to establish a digital assets strategic reserve fund and allow public fund investments in Bitcoin despite opposition from states like Wyoming and Montana due to concerns about volatility. If approved by the House, Arizona will be among the first states to hold Bitcoin in its reserves. Finally, Bitcoin's price has experienced a significant drop, down 17% this week, raising skepticism about its long-term stability amidst market uncertainties. And this ends this report. Here is our next report from dinarrecaps.com. Bruce's big call. Dinar Intel Thursday night 2/27/25 was held, featuring discussions on various topics related to investor notifications and potential updates concerning Social Security. Bruce expressed skepticism about receiving updates by the end of February, but remained hopeful for notifications regarding appointments for exchanges soon. He mentioned the possibility of appointments starting on March 1st and touched on the recent signing of Nasara and Jassara by President Trump. Additionally, Bruce noted ongoing developments regarding bondholders and the release of critical documents related to the Epstein case. He encouraged listeners to stay vigilant and monitor their emails for any significant updates. And this ends this report. Here is our next report from dinarrecaps.com. Tom welcomes back Lawrence Lepard from Equity Management Associates to discuss his new book, The Big Print: What Happened to America and How Sound Money Will Fix It. Lepard emphasized that the U.S. monetary system began deteriorating with Nixon's abandonment of the gold standard in 1971, leading to persistent inflation and debt accumulation. He argued that sound money, gold, silver, and Bitcoin, is essential to fix these issues. Gold provides stability, while Bitcoin offers a digital solution to scarcity and divisibility, though it is still volatile. The interview explored how inflation affects everyday life, with Lepard noting that the government's reported inflation rates often underestimate real costs. He criticized the Federal Reserve for prioritizing debt servicing over economic fairness, leading to a cycle of printing money that disproportionately harms wage earners. Lepard also discussed the political challenges in transitioning to sound money, suggesting that widespread public awareness and grassroots support are needed to push for systemic change. He warned against complacency, noting that the U.S. is on a trajectory toward a debt crisis unless decisive action is taken. The conversation concluded with Lepard encouraging listeners to engage with his book to better understand these issues and advocating for a future where sound money restores economic health and fairness. And that ends all the news from dinarrecaps.com. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a great Saturday.